We are on the Country versus Metal podcast with Shelby Stone. How are you?
Hello. I'm Grand. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. Have how have you been?
Busy. Very, very busy, but very good. Keeps me out of trouble.
Yeah, yeah, and it's been really cool to see like the font on your names getting bigger and bigger on the festival.
Yeah, dude, what is going on with that? Someone's getting fired. Like, there's been a few that like I've skipped over my name, not paying attention and just like jumping straight to the bottom. Like, not in like a weird way, but like it's okay. It's just where I'm used to seeing my name. And now it's like, oh, like I almost texted about it was the Gravy Train Family Reserve in Stillwater. I I remember my feelings being like really, really hurt, and I like got ready to text Dalton, and I was like, I'm the se- why am I on the second line? What is this? It was so, so cool.
Yeah, is Dalton still texting in all caps?
Oh yeah, all the time. All the
So you don't
time.
so you don't have to get your well for me, I don't have to get my reader glasses out. He hasn't texted me in a while. It's been a while since I got the scream talk text.
Just hit him with like a knock knock joke or something. He'll text back.
Yeah, it's funny because I thought with like his like picture was like black and white and it had like a bandana on it. I thought he was like an old like Vietnam vet helicopter pilot, and I thought he was like an old man like yelling at me. Then I met him when I met you at a mile zero, and I'm like, I think I'm older than you.
Yeah, the if it helps, I had a very similar interaction when I first met him because, mind you, I used to work at the radio station, and they all use the same like promo like headshots. And the first time I drove down to College Station to meet up with him, he had just like shaved his head and recently had shaven his face and gotten new glasses. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna send my location to a few people to make sure I'm not meeting up with a stranger I met on the internet. But his wife was so sweet. They had this office there in College Station, and she, I guess they had like just gotten it too, like the week that I came down. And so she put a wreath on the door and like brought over a candle, and she was like, "I promise we're not serial killers. Like we're real people. I promise. We just got the place." I was like, "Oh, this is fine. I feel like I'm right at home."
Yeah, there's always plastic on the floor.
Yeah, exactly.
That's funny. Yeah, that I know that that whole honcho group dissolved, but
Mhm.
dude, man, that was a great mile zero to be down at with
Oh yeah.
those guys. That was a great time, and I love all those that whole sound of everybody, and just getting to meet everybody, and see how nice everybody is, and yeah, that was the first time I met you. I can't
Yeah.
remember if that was the first night.
I think so because it was like because it was at the amphitheater and Morgan Wade played either Morgan Wade played that night or Ian Munsick played that night. One
I
of the
think
two.
yeah,
Because I remember I didn't stay the whole night because I don't travel well. I'm really in the wrong industry. I don't like crowds. I don't travel well. Anyways,
yeah.
but I hadn't slept like at all in the past like 48 hours, and so I was like, okay, I love y'all. I have arrived in Key West. I'm going to bed. But
Yeah,
no, that honcho camp is because have you been back to Mile Zero Fest since then?
no, no.
I haven't either.
I'm I plan on this year. I just see like I think today they were doing like pre-sales for some
Hmm.
stuff, and
I'm really
the
hoping that we get to go back too.
yeah, the festival's awesome. It's a great deal. It's just in Key West just to stay anywhere. You know, obviously it's
Yes.
an island, real estate's a prime, and it's because I can never seem
Yeah.
to find anybody to go with, and I'm like to
Right.
eat the whole cost myself. It was a lot,
Do you
but
ever get like a, can you try and get like a press pass or anything like that?
like I've never really ever thought about doing that, but I bought a new camera, and everywhere I go, it doesn't have any adjustable lenses, which I was told like as long as it doesn't have that, you're not
Yeah.
considered like a professional photographer. And I've
Right.
had so many people go up to me like, yeah, you can't use that, and I'm like, man, like so
So,
I've yet to really try it, but I know like we wanted there's a bunch of podcasts that want to go down there and like rent out a place and do like do like a mass podcasting where we can all just sit around and have
I
people
think
over.
somebody did last year. It was I know off mic, off the record,
Hmm.
Aaron Bentley. I saw that he had posted one. I'm not sure like how real the thing, but like I have yet to meet a musician that doesn't like adore you and everything that you do. So I would be really shocked if you can't get out there.
Yeah.
So something to
It,
think about.
you know,
I would vouch for you. I'd say like, yeah, I'd want him there. At
yeah,
least just something.
yeah. It's funny is like Aaron has a beard. You know, you're in Key West. He's got the aviators. Didn't realize who I was talking to. He's like, "Yeah, man, come down to the house, and you know, we'll sit down and talk." And I'm like, "All right, all right." And man, I just like before I knew it, and I woke up, and of course, you know, I hung out with Jacob Stelly, and oh my god, I needed an IV after that. I was
You on island time.
yeah, and I messed up. I was like, dude, I love that because I love his podcast. He's an encyclopedia. He's like, I wish I was at that level of knowing like every name
Well, do you
that
know his background?
no,
Him and I actually, we back when I worked at at the ranch, he was a producer for a very large name in the Texas radio scene that is no longer a thing anymore. But that's how him and I actually first met, was working at the radio station. And a very similar situation happened to me. He had on aviators, and we were somewhere where I like, and I hadn't seen him since I worked at the station. And so he was like, "Hey, Shelby." And I didn't realize until after, because it was, I saw him in person, didn't recognize him, and then it just like didn't click, and I didn't realize that he had his podcast when he had reached out. So I was like, I just seem like an all around asshole. This is good. This is really great work. He probably thinks that I'm just huge dick, but like, I love Aaron. He's been in the game for a very, very long time. So if it makes you feel any better, that used to be like the whole thing. Can't remember how long Texas Red Dirt Roads was, but they were a pinnacle for sure.
wow, yeah, I didn't know that, and we kind of had a similar situation as well because you know me being taller than someone that's wearing like a cowgirl hat, you can't really see their face, but I saw the hair. I was like, man, I really think that's Shelby Stone. I should have walked up,
I don't
but
bite. I just spit a little bit, and that's
yeah,
because I had Invisalign.
yeah, you know, I don't know why. I probably because I was like, I've been staring for a little bit. I said, if it's not her, it's gonna be really weird. I'm not gonna know what to say. There's gonna be no exit.
I do get that. Uh, for like my job being as extroverted as it needs to be, I get really weird and I panic really quickly. Especially because like, man, I work around a lot of really cool people. I don't know how to not be weird about it. I'm sorry, I'm not there yet.
Yeah,
Like, oh, like because Caitlin Butts, for example, is like one of my favorite artists of all time. She was my intro to this entire scene. Feathered Indians by Tyler Childers and Gal Like Me by Caitlin Butts. I've opened for her twice, and I'm weird. I'm still weird. She followed me back on Instagram. I was weird about it. I'm looking forward to the day that I not get. I just relax. It's not that big of a deal. So if that makes you feel any better, I did the same thing at Key West the first time. I was like, That's Patrick. That's Country versus God." So no, that it's the feeling is mutual.
yeah, dude. Like, how great is it to know that Caitlin Butts is in the shadows of comment sections to come at people that slight you? I love it. She,
It's my favorite. Ah,
yeah, she's like a superhero. She's just, her tongue is a razor. I love it, and she's a sweetheart. But my God, don't cross that woman.
it's the greatest thing ever. Like she, on top of just liking the music, because if that always helps, but like as a young female artist, the way she carries herself, the way she handles herself, and still has a very strong grip on her femininity. Oh, dude, masterclass. Because it's like all I know how to do is just to be loud and mean and like a junkyard dog. Like she's like one of those cats that like when you walk by they like swipe you and you're like, "Damn, where did you come from?" Like it's It's so cool. She's just a masterclass of an artist, and I'm so glad that she's getting like the flowers she deserves right now with that song.
Yeah.
Just to the moon. It's so sick.
Yeah, dude, it's incredible because that came out like a year ago.
Hmm.
And like I remember listening to it. I did a video on it. It got muted. I was like, man, it's a shame because I love the concept of the song. And then
Yeah.
next thing you know, I'm like one video, two videos. I'm like, oh wow, this has become like a trend. And then you see like LL Langley and a bunch of like blue check marks doing it. I'm like, nice.
Hmm.
And then I just like hit the last video of her with the dance to it. I was like, hey man, just keep going because I see it's charting again
Yep.
on charts. It's so weird social media because like you know you promote a song forever and you're like, dude, this is the one, and it doesn't take off, and then she probably woke up and was like, something happened.
Yep. That's it has to be. Well, and that's the thing too. I kind of got into a bit of a spiff with a grown man about it the other day. Because he was like, it was a conversation amongst men that I had happened to overhear. So that was on me. But I just happened to hear them say like the power of good influencers or social media campaigns and things like that. And I was like, okay, one, it's a good song. Okay, number one, it's a good song. Two, this is a result of post CMA Fest. Like it from Avriana and Ella Langley, like they were all there and they all saw her play this really amazing song live. Like this, if you pull, I sound like someone in front of like a red string board. Like, yes, I'm sure there's someone on the back, there's people on the backside, like marketing and management, that are probably taking advantage of this moment. But like, don't you dare just chalk this up to a good influencer. Like, do not diminish the the craft that Caitlyn has poured her soul and art into. Don't even. This is my favorite artist. Like,
Yeah.
I just get real fired up about it. That's like, don't just swiftly dismiss something over, well, the power of a good influencer. Yeah, for sure. But Lainey Wilson apparently got super big because her ass was huge. No marketing team could have planned that.
Yeah, I have a funny story about that. So it's funny. It's like everybody I know they don't watch what I do. They don't care. And just somebody I knew came up and said, hey man, he's like older. He's like, you seen that country artist going viral for her behind? And I was like, no, who? He goes, Lainey Wilson. I thought he said Jamie Lynn Wilson. And I'm like, really? I was like, dude, I was drinking with her. We were at the karaoke. We were partying. I was like, seeing, I've hung out with her. And he goes, get the hell out of here. And I showed him the picture. He goes, nah, man, that ain't her. And I'm like, well, who are you talking about? He's like, because the way he's got that draw, like Lane Wilson. I was like, I thought you said Jamie Lynn Wilson. I said, you need to check her out too.
We're talking about Wilson artists.
Yeah.
I highly recommend.
Yeah, he
That's
was like,
funny.
oh, you lying. You lying. I'm like, no, man, I was down in Key West. I was like, Wade Bone. I was like, I got pictures with Wade Bone and everybody down there. And then he was just like, nah, man, that ain't her. And I was like, oh. Then he showed me. I was like, oh, okay.
Well,
I know the name. I don't know if I ever really
I
listened
guess
to
I
music.
still get to drink with Jamie Lynn Wilson, so take
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
No, that's
That,
sick.
that was a fun night.
I
I
love Jamie.
yeah, she's super nice. And just,
She's a badass too, man.
oh
Like,
yeah,
I almost wrote my senior thesis. I was gonna call it the founding fathers of Texas music, and I was just gonna write it about all like the groundbreaking women in this industry. And it was gonna be her, Judy Hubbard, Ray Wiley's wife, Shannon Canada, Courtney Patton, Brie Bagwell, Caitlin, obviously. I feel like I'm forgetting some, but it was a whole long list.
yeah.
And then my professor vetoed it, which was super annoying. But I did do like a healthy deep dive on like all of their like careers and things, and I got to have a really cool conversation with Jamie, and she had mentioned that there's like a group chat amongst those women, and
Mm-hmm.
uh, if like a offer comes in from a venue, like they'll text it to the other and be like, "Hey, am I getting stiffed here? Like, what do we think?" And like they walked so I could run, and so I'm I hope they think I'm cool because I think they're fucking legendary.
Yeah, I'm sure they think you're awesome. They're so nice. Yeah, the Mile Zero I went to, there was, man, there was a lot of. I didn't meet Bree, but I've had Bree on, and man, that was a cool conversation. That was one of my first like long podcasts. She ended up like walking to dinner with her and her boyfriend, and they're still talking to me. And and yeah, like Courtney Patton was there, Jamie Lynn Wilson, and all them, and yeah, they it's nice. It's because I come from like, man, there's not a lot of like female artists in like the heavier music. There
Mm-mm.
there's like probably like three I can think of. Like I knew Reba McEntire as the actress on Tremors. That's all I knew her as, which is
That's
why.
amazing.
Yeah, and
Which
then
still
like
a great piece of media to know her from, though.
yeah,
Like, I'll give it to you.
yeah, and then like it's wild because like you hear her voice, you're like, whoa, this is
Yeah.
really good. And like, cause I asked my mom, I'm like, Mom, did you never listen to like Reba McEntire? She's like, nah, I don't really. I think I know like one song, and because I always wish they would like want to be on camera. Because my dad would tell you, he'd be like, well, it wasn't on the radio because it's my radio, and like, like, yeah, you're right, yeah, I
Where
had
are you from initially?
I always tell people Philly
Okay,
because
fair.
it right outside of Philly, and then moved to like rural PA, and
Hmm.
now I'm in Delaware.
Okay. Well, then
Yeah.
that makes sense. Like that absolutely makes sense. I mean, we grew up listening to Reba on the radio and watching her TV show. Like, we were a very pro Reba household, very pro country music household. Cleaned house, listening, watching CMT, like the music video countdowns. So like, but that makes a lot of sense. If it makes you feel better, I grew up with pirated music though, so I had a lot of like MP3 players that had untitled music
Uh,
that I'm discovering. Like, I didn't realize that Kryptonite was called Kryptonite by Three Doors Down up until mm, I think it came on shuffle one day, like on Spotify, and I was like, "Holy shit, this is the band! Oh my god!" Like, I just didn't know. So, and there is so much lore to country music and the subgenres upon subgenres upon subgenres. Like, I tip my hat to you, good sir, because this is more than just an average parfait.
it's it's wild to go like from not knowing who anybody is to never listen to country. And like when I was at Highway 30 at
Mhm.
Texas, I was like, I look over, there's Randy Travis. I was like, this is crazy. And to walk around when they gave me the pass and they're like, yeah, just go backstage and to walk and to see like Cody Canada and Tanner Usry and they go, hey man, what's up? And
Yep.
I was like, man, it's never gonna get old. And I always like in my back of my mind, I'm like, be cool, be
Yeah.
cool. It was wild. Like one of the cool, like Cody Canada was like, hey man, can I get you? Can I take a picture of you with my kids? Yeah, waves in April. I was like, yeah. I was like, oh, this is so cool. I did.
I'm still kind of awkward around Cody and Shannon. Like, I get clammed up. I obviously grew up listening to Ragweed.
Yeah.
Um, and then I wanted to write my paper about Shannon, but then my internship I did with the radio station 95.9 The Ranch, and one of the first things I did when in my internship, I was with Heather Anderson. She was previously a DJ there and like a big sister to me. We had to go interview Cody at Tannehill's, and it was the same day that we had to go interview like we had to go Billy Bob's, and I can't remember off the top of my head now as I'm sitting here telling this story. Oh my God. It'll come to me like in 30 minutes. It's gonna be great. Um, but we had to immediately after his, we had to go interview someone over at Billy Bob's. But Cody just he makes everybody feel like you've been his friend for like 15 years,
Yeah.
and that you go way back. And I was so awkward and so nervous, and I was like, this is fun. And then again, we got to go interview him in Vegas. It's the same thing. Like, he recognized me, the band recognized me. They were like, "Hey Shelby, how are you?" I'm great. I'm great. But and like it. and then his kids too, like, I'm super, super grateful for, like, the friendship that we formed over the past shit, 6 months to a year. I don't really know, time's a flat circle. Uh, they're so talented and they're so funny. Oh my god. That entire family is so cool. But I had crashed at their place a few months ago, and just like the posters and uh like old show posters from like early ragweed days and like some of the stuff that The Departed has done. I'm like, y'all are very famous. It's like y'all are very famous. This is insane. And y'all call me friend. This is so cool.
Yeah,
Don't be weird. They're just so humble about it. It's so cool.
yeah, yeah. They definitely are. It's like I was like in a comment section. I think it was Facebook, and I was just going back and forth with somebody, and I was like, well, I played guitar on a Red Dirt song. I'm good for whatever happens. And someone slid in my DMs and said, "You need to realize who you're talking to." And I was like, "Who? What? I'm not doing anything bad. I'm just." And they're like, "This is Cody Canada's wife." And I was like, "Oh my
Oh
god!"
shit.
I was like, "I have no idea here." Like the queen of Red Dirt. I'm like, "Ah, she's probably like, she probably knew that I knew. But when I did first meet her, and she was like, "Have you met Cody?" I'm like, "No, no, he's busy." She's like,
Yep.
"Come on." And I was like,
Yep.
"Yeah, all right." And then I had a couple adult beverages. I was like, man, I never do this, but I got to take a selfie with you. Like,
And he loves it. It's amazing. I This past year was my first year at Steamboat, and I was so grateful once I saw Shannon because obviously, like, have you been to Steamboat? Have you done that one yet?
no, every time I say I'm going to go, it's already sold out, which is like the day after,
Yeah,
pretty much.
straight up. People camp out to sign up and or to it's insane.
Yeah.
Um, it's like Mile Zero Fest, but in a single hotel. It's a lot. But as somebody that, man, I will state for the record, I did try to go introduce myself. I made myself look like a jackass to Jack Ingram. uh, and so after that moment, I was so glad when I saw Shannon because then I was like, "Will you please introduce me?" Because last time I tried to do this, I looked like a fool. Um, and so and it makes me just feel very safe that she does that exact thing of just, oh, come on. I'm like, oh, thank you. But no, I saw Jack, and mind you, the Texas music scene tapes were starting to roll out, and I'm sure Jack understands that he's just reading from like a script, but like hearing Jack Ingram say your name and calling you an up and coming artist that's making waves in the scene, it's like, you're Jack Ingram. Oh my god. So I did. I went over there and I was like, I just wanted to say like how cool it was that like you did the intro on these shows, which I know it's like a thing you already do and it's fine. It's just, I want to introduce myself, say thank you, that was really cool, and it's really nice to meet you. And mind you, retelling this to you, there's at least like kind of a full sentence there. What I did to Jack, just a lot of flustered, ah, enough that he went, here, give me a hug. I was like, okay, thank you. I won't be doing that again. Appreciate it. It's fine. It's fine. But Steamboat was it was a lot. It was very overwhelming as someone that like I finally got to reintroduce myself to Thane Williams because I met him when I was working at the station and made a fool out of myself there. And 6 years later, I can finally stop having the same nightmare of putting my foot in my mouth. And it was just I'd forgotten the song that I was trying to tell him that I loved. It was a little too late by like his solo stuff. And I was like, "Hey, you don't remember me. I remember this. It has kept me up for the past 6 years. The song was a little too late." And he was like, "Okay, good, thank you." But
Def-
that one was really cool. I'm excited. I'm curious to see if I get to go back to Steamboat next year, and if we make it out to Mile Zero this year or this upcoming year. I cannot wait to see how I handle the weather, and the humidity and altitude. Because they're
yeah.
like, I don't know if there's a week in between or if they're back to back.
Yeah. It can be really close. I know they, from what I've read in like the Facebook clubs or groups that they've have moved it in certain, I don't know what dictates when they're going to have it, but I know Steamboat and Mile Zero are really close together. I know they were last year, I believe, because it's like I was like,
Yeah,
yeah, maybe I'll go, and I did like a post, and everyone's like, go, 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 and then I look, and I'm like, man, like it's sold
it's
out.
tough.
Yeah, yeah, like I didn't realize like how huge it is, and it's a huge deal because but everyone's like, if you want to go hang out with your artist, that's where you go, and you know, and
Yeah,
I don't like, dude, I don't travel well.
I
It,
don't
it
either.
and I don't travel well by myself or with other. If I don't travel, if I'm with somebody that does something, like I want to get there. I don't want to stop. You know, I don't want to see the largest ball of twine. You know, let's get
Right.
there so we can relax and hang out. You know, I'm not scarfing down chicken fingers and I'm gonna have greasy fingers while I play this show. Like
Right.
I want to be able to breathe. I want to know all my cables are, you know. And but when somebody's like, oh, we gotta stop here and get this, we can blah blah. And, I'm just
Yeah.
not fun. When I get there, I'm fine, but yeah, because like the first miles, that was my first. Like I've never been recognized, like like to that extent. And a lot of people aren't on their records. So I was like, I felt
That's
like
hard.
yeah,
Yeah.
like oh, you're who? And they're like, you know, like I know, I'm like I'm just a dumb TikTok guy, but
I
like
also think some people should take that, like, be aware, like, give credit where it's due. Your whole channel started with only listening to metal music and starting to listen to country music. Cut a guy a break, damn.
yeah, it. I definitely recognize Pecos because he's in my profile picture. and people and people like that.
That's
But
who it was. That's who we had to go interview at Billy Bob's. Because
really,
I remember he's a very tall man.
oh
Very,
yeah,
very tall man. And I did
very
not
tall.
realize how tall he was until I had to set up camera like A was directly under his mic stand. And there was like a foot of like mic stand, like mic, me. Like there was a decent amount of space in between. I was like, that is a tall bastard. Oh my God.
Yeah.
His wife is so sweet. I don't know if you've ever met her, but
Hmm.
she's the best. I love Jade so much. That's who it was. It was Vegas. I
That's
knew I'd get
crazy.
there.
Yeah, I was like leaning up against the corner of a building because at Highway 30, I was uh Steve was there for a while, but his ankle was hurting, so he would
Mm.
leave, and I was by myself, and I was leaning up against this building, and this lady came up and said, "Hey, are you the guy from TikTok?" And I was like, "Yeah." She goes, "My husband Pecos was thinking that was you. You want to go meet him?" I was like, "Oh yeah." And we went on his tour bus, and I'm 6'1", and I was like, "Oh." I was like, you can't
And
tell from. I guess they have him stand back and the other guys stand forward. I was like,
it's something, man. I'm shocked. It's the same thing that happens with Jordan Nix, because usually like when I'm hanging out with Jordan, we're sitting down and like writing, or I, I'm just shocked every time like he stands up and I'm like, Jesus, you're
yeah,
a tall man, very
yeah, he
tall
is.
man.
He is so funny. As tall as big as he is, and I love. He's like, so I have an irrational fear of man with overly too much body hair. I'm like,
He's my
what?
favorite person of all time. I apparently Jordan and I became friends in Key West, even though I had known him about 6 months prior to that, and I thought we were friends much before that. But he's got little things like that. That you're like, I love you, big man, big feelings.
Yeah,
He's my favorite in the whole entire world. I'm
yeah,
so I because I started as a friend as a fan of his, like uber fan, and it's really cool that I can send him shit on TikTok and we can giggle and laugh and things.
yeah. Well, that's like I kind of like yelled at him at Mile Zero because that's when he took all his music down.
Yeah,
And he was like, listen, don't want to get into it, but it's coming back. I'm like, good, man. I was like, it's good. What are you doing? And yeah, just talking to him. And oh, man, I, I told him, I said, I took a picture with you and this girl said something about you. And he's like, what? And I showed him a picture and he's like, let me tell you a story about me and Tanner Russery. And it was like this just hilarious thing. And I'm like, dude, because he said, I should probably do a podcast. I was like, absolutely. I was like, that's hilarious. And I said, that's a funnier side of the artist. Because a lot of people like they strictly just do music on their
Hmm.
page and you have no idea of their personality. That's why like I love like what you do. I love like your one video where you're talking about the lady thought you were allergic to something and she was like, "Oh, and you're, it's just makeup.
Yeah, that
See
was
ya."
in Key West.
That yeah,
Yes, it was across whatever bar was like doing karaoke or something like that. And I know for a fact she was on a whole other planet. And she did. She came up and just put her thumbs right across my eyelids. She was like, "You're having an allergic reaction." And I was like, "Okay, I believe you." Like,
Are you an EpiPen?
yeah. Well, and man, the women's bathroom at a bar is a very safe and sacred place. So, like, I'll take your word for it. But then she did. She was just like, "Oh, have a great night." Okay.
Yeah.
Why did you touch my eyelids?
Yeah.
Like, what?
It was like some gypsy
Truly, right?
putting a spell
No.
on you.
Well, and that's the thing too, like with Jordan, his songs are very sad. Like they're tear jerkers. Like he's one of the funniest people I've ever met in my entire life. And it's like, brother, you've got range. A lot of range. It's at the same breath that he's being funny, like if you're song swapping with him, he'll start with Happy Meal Mondays and you're like, you sick. How am I supposed to follow that? That was cruel. He's the best though.
Yeah. Yeah. All those guys. It was really cool meeting them. I just remember like just so many people, like a lot of the Texas, Oklahoma guys, they want to come up here to like the Northeast. And I just
Hmm.
remember Dalton being like, can y'all get buses up around there? It's like, yeah, they're, they are kind of built for that. I know it's old up here, but yeah, I assure you that a bus will be accommodating. And yeah, I just remember, man, a lot of people down there have so far like blown up, and and yeah, that was a really cool time to go because I remember all you had was what God was that cover.
House of the Rising Sun.
Yeah, House of the Rising, because I remember like everyone was like, you got to check out Shelby Stone, Shelby Stone, Shelby Stone, and I was like, man, this can't be her. It's only one song, and then I remember doing it, and but yeah, that's why I'm excited for how many tracks. It's what Silver Year.
Hmm.
How many tracks?
16, I
Oh
believe.
wow.
Yeah, there's a healthy amount. Uh, working when I started working with all those honcho guys, like I think out of all of the songs that I brought Dalton when we first started working, I think we've kept one because I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't start writing until the end of 2021, and so there's been a lot of growth. And then obviously like Dalton cuts, Jordan cuts, and then just a straight up Rolling Stones cover. Uh, but uh, there's been a lot of development and growth because I didn't like the House of the Rising Sun. That was a school project, um, which is why it sounds unmixed and unmastered. Like it was a school project, um, and for some reason, it's only available on Apple Music right now. I don't know how to get it taken down completely. Don't know what I've done, but I'm. It's cool having that piece of music with this first album to just see like the growth in the past. I put that out in 2022. In the past 3 years, like that's pretty sick. It's really cool because 16 songs is a lot of songs.
Yeah,
A lot of songs.
yeah. Because there's some people that just do singles and EPs, and there's some people like. Do you prefer an album
I think there is
personally?
a time and place for both. Um, I if all I get are singles from you as an artist, I don't know where to go. I think it was like Jack Antonoff was on a podcast. I think it's called "And the Writer Is." But he talks about how singles are the like highway, the album is the destination. Like you got to give me somewhere to go. Um, it's a fun. I like. It's just very time and place. I think too. Like singles are really great for discovery. Album is a really great place to consume art from the artist. But it also depends on how I feel that day. Like some days I want to listen to an album top to bottom, and some days I only want to hear top 40. Like I don't know, but I know collectively, like as an artist putting out music, I like both. I think it's fun because you've got songs like Easy Tiger where I can roller skate around my neighborhood, and then uh songs like Each Other that are just they're just completely different. And like if you asked me to try to do the same thing with both of those songs, like I couldn't do it. It would be weird. So I don't know. I think it opens up opportunities to be creative in so many different ways to serve the song. I don't know if that makes any sense.
Yeah, it does. And I do like just, especially like when you're independent and you can do what you want and you can, hey, let's put a synth on here. And some people are like, well, your brand is this. Like, I,
That was a
I
I will be so honest. It took a lot of convincing from Dalton and everybody with Easy Tiger specifically because I was like, I wear a lot of leather for this much synth and for this like poppy of a song. And then the more that we like would get mixes back and the more that we kind of worked on it, I was like, damn, this is an earworm. I I don't like we'd add more like live instruments on it. I'm like, mm-mm, I don't like it like that. I liked the synth. I liked the MIDI drums. Like
yeah,
that song is such a phenomenon. It's so cool.
yeah, it's a great song.
Thanks.
That's
It's a lot of fun.
I like how the leather pants were a deciding factor in the synth.
Right?
Now, is there a season for the leather pants in Texas? Is there?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah. I've
it's
busted like two pairs, like straight up ripped them on stage and overheated twice in them. I've
wow.
discovered that like November through maybe March. Yeah, no, yeah, I can get them in March, but it's still kind of touch and go. Very small window. Not unless I start running in the middle of summer and build up my tolerance to it. But I wear a lot of vintage clothes too, so they're not like the thread is dry rotted. Like they're not going to be able to hold up with how much I'm running around on stage. Um, but yeah, no, it's there's a very small window for it.
Yeah,
I've gotten sick 3 different times now from getting too hot on stage.
yeah. It's funny. Like last week, I was live and I was talking about the podcast, and I said, "Yeah, we're gonna have Shelby Stone on." And I was like, "Funny story." I said, "A couple years ago, I had blue hair. I used to dye my hair blue, and I was like, I don't know if I have a picture of it, but I used to wear. I had leather pants. I had like these like I had these shoes from Hot Topic that were like monster shoes.
Twin.
And I was like, I'm 6'1" now, and I figured that probably made me like up to 6'4", 6'5". I remember wearing to school one day, and my other buddy, he's 6'6". He's like, "All right, what the hell's going on right now? Why am I looking you in the eye?" And he looked down. He goes, "Dude," he goes, "This is pretty cool." I'm like, "Nah, man." I said, I am a rock away from blowing out an ankle." I was like, "This is terrible."
It Platforms are a risk. I get it.
Yeah, I was a big Hot Topic. So when I see pictures, and I know you're down in Texas, I was like, man, it's gotta be hot. But
It's
like,
brutal, especially like with how humid it gets down here. Like if it was just dry heat, like I will say I have not tried leather pants in dry heat because it's Texas. Uh, but God, it is brutal. It's like I'm in a trash bag right now. That's what this is. It's one of those like sweatsuit things
yeah,
that people or sauna suit, whatever. Um, Man, I don't know if you've been in a hot topic recently, but they're not the same.
no, it's so depressing.
It's lame. I
It's
used
like,
to be afraid of hot topics growing up. Why am I like? What is this? It's
Yeah.
so lame.
Yeah.
So lame.
I was like,
Same
where's
with
all?
Spencer's too. Like Spencer's obviously was like the one like don't go to the back, things like that. But like, dude, I was in there the other day. I'm like, this is gimmicky as hell.
Yeah.
This is not as cool as I expected it to be as a kid. Which I don't know if it's always been gimmicky, but Hot Topic, I remember I was afraid of that store with the, like a brick the like entrance all malls had.
Yeah. Like the people
It's
working there, like pancake makeup and
yeah.
studs
Now it's like, is
everywhere.
this a Claire's? Like, what is this?
Yeah.
I
I
think
wear this so no one hugs me.
right. Yeah, literally. Sarcasm is my first language. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Like the little jackets you put on little dogs so hawks don't take them.
Yeah.
I
I
loved it.
I did just recently get to we got corgi puppies. Um it's like having two toddlers in the house and they're obviously not very big, but I did immediately send my dad the like bird jackets like for small dogs so they don't get picked up by hawks. And I was like, dude, these are metal as hell. I don't even think that they'll really have that much of a concern with hawks, but I think we should get it for them anyways. Just because it looks cool.
Yeah. Yeah, it is it is they got like little punk rockers just running around.
I love it.
Yeah. It's the same here. But yeah, with with the blue hair, is that like becoming like a trademark of you? Like
It absolutely is. People know me now by my blue hair. I I'm getting recognized at church. I got recognized at CVS the other day. Um, there is no turning it off, so I kind of always have to kind of stay on. But as someone that was blonde when I first started doing music and then dark-headed there in the middle, I wouldn't try. This was such an easy change to stand out a little bit more. I'm also not attached to my hair. It is thick and it grows very fast. If I don't like it, I can just change it. It's not that big of a deal. But it's opened up a whole new like demographic. Um, and that is like school-aged girls where like from 7 to not even 7, like they honestly start pretty young up into like some high school girls. And if a high school girl thinks you're cool, you can't tell me shit. They're mean. More so middle schoolers, but like it's like I got invited to a 10-year-old's birthday party last year. I get to come to the 11th birthday party. Like I it's just completely opened up this different realm because like one I've been there's more parents tell me they're like they've never seen a girl play guitar in real life before and it's like how?
yeah.
But to each their own, I get it. 9-year-old Shelby would think this version of me is cool as shit. So that's honestly like it's probably a really strong reason why I will stick to this for a long time. Just because the kids think it's cool. I'm
Yeah.
down. If the kids think it's cool, hell yeah, let's do
Yeah.
it.
You're like a new age gem. I don't know if you know who
Right.
Gem.
Yes, yeah.
I love
Uh
it.
for Christmas I actually got my mom one of the gem dolls
Oh, really?
because
They
that's
still
what
make
she
them?
no, they don't. I
Oh,
scoured eBay for many weeks to find one that wasn't $400 and wasn't just the doll with no clothes. I was like, okay, it still needs to be like a nice gift.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, the Barbie and the Rockers and the gem dolls. I did end up down a rabbit hole because I was like, I need these. I want them. I'm gonna put
Yeah.
them up in my office.
Yeah. I just remember my sister. I just remember that Gem and Rainbow Bright.
Yeah.
And I don't see any of them really anymore. It's weird. It's
Was Rainbow Bright the little peg things that you like, or was that the ones that you like ironed so it would make
no,
like a shape?
no. It was actual like a cartoon.
Oh,
Um,
nice.
yeah. I just
Not trying to age you by any means. I'm so sorry.
I I'm old. A lot of old and aged, but definitely still a kid. I don't
Oh
get
yeah.
people be like, yeah, you need to grow up. What are you still playing guitar
Yeah.
for? And I'm like,
Kiss my ass.
yeah. I'm, I'm like, who do you listen to? What is your music? 15-year-olds? You know, like
Right.
so that's
Nah,
the best
this
part of getting older, and you know, you look back, you're like, man, that song I wrote sucked. You know,
that ain't no joke. I
it's
found in the process of moving out right now, I found some like old songwriting journals, and it's like, oh Jesus. I'm not one to like throw those kinds of things away. That way, like I can always come back and look, and we can all laugh together. But God, dog, I'm grateful for growth.
yeah,
Very
definitely,
grateful for growth.
and it's fun to watch a musician. Well, when they get better, It's-
Right.
it- yeah. But yeah, like when you said I love that what like cherry red guitar you have.
Thank you. It
I
is the nicest thing I own.
it's a Gibson, right? What
Hmm. SJ200.
okay. It kind of reminds me of what Shane Smith has. I
Hmm.
think. I don't know. I feel like I've seen like a version of it, but man, I
I initially wanted because my dad and I have this joke. It's something I've done my whole life. Um, I'm looking up Shane's guitar now because I haven't seen it and I want to see if we have matching guitars. Um, but I would find something egregiously priced and I'd be like, "Hey, do you want to buy this for me?" And he would be like, "Haha, have you lost your mind?" And that's the joke. Like that's always been the joke. And then one year, uh, I cannot tell. There's not like a clear picture of it. I bet. Um, One year I found the Elvis Presley edition of the SJ200, and it's all black. It's got Presley on the fretboard, um, and on like the little headstock piece, I think it says Elvis. I can't remember. I know for a fact that if it had said the King on it, I probably would have been a little more like, I want this one. But I had shown it to my dad, and I have a December birthday as well. And I was like, "Hey, do you want to buy me this?" He was like, "It'd probably have to be your Christmas and your birthday if you really want it that bad." And I was like, "That's not how this joke works, good sir. I'm going to take advantage of this if you are actually serious." And he was like, "Yeah, it's pretty cool if you can find it." Like, and I'm like, I won't need Christmas for a long time. This is totally fine with me. And there's a guitar shop here in town. It's called Tone Shop. I think they've got one in Dallas too. And I love Tone Shop so much. They're just like real people, and they don't make me feel like a piece of shit walking in there. And they also like Guitar Center just doesn't like me. I don't know if it's just because they've never seen a woman in real life or what it is, but my bad. But they were just like they were just super helpful, and I'd walked in to see if they had one, and because initially I wanted all black. It was gonna save me like $600 to not have the Presley edition, which like that's fine. Um, and I walked in like the humidor boxes on the wall was this bright ass red guitar. I was like, "Oh, you're coming home with me. Perfect. Thanks." But it's huge, and I forget how like large it is when I pick up because I got an acoustic PRS as well, and it's like that is a very large guitar. What am I doing?
yeah.
It's awesome. So all
It,
that to say, thank you. It's my pride and joy.
yeah, and that's like why I like a lot of bands where they have the crowds throwing stuff at them, and I'm like, man, like when you have something like that, I'm like, there is no way. Like,
I
it,
shut a show down once. It was an after party for a horse showing event. Wasn't like a rodeo, but it was I think cutting horses. I don't remember what it was. But the guy that won the whole thing was very, very hammered, as he should be, because he won a shit ton of money that night. Totally get it. But I saw them bringing champagne bottles, and so I told some lady, I don't remember if she was the wife or she was like running it. I was like, "Hey, point the champagne that way. Please don't get champagne on the equipment." Like, because at the time, like that's all I had. Like, this is how I make my money.
yeah,
Is this guitar? in this very small PA system that already likes to shit out on me. Um, and I don't remember what song we were playing, but the guy got really excited and shook it up, and I was like, "Yeah, all right, we're done. Y'all have a great night. Thank you." I like this. It's a non-negotiable for me. I can't like
Yeah.
this. If which he did say he was like, with how much money I won tonight, I'll buy you another one. And I was like, we'll hold you to that.
Yeah. Sign here.
Yeah. I've actually been recording this conversation the whole time. Thanks. Yeah, I don't do well. We opened for Reed Southall, the Southall band, excuse me. Corn Fest. I think it was Holland, Texas. Uh, it was an all ages crowd, a different act that is very pro throw shit. This isn't a GD blank blank concert kind of thing. Um, they started like throwing like small things at me. In Dalton, they threw like ice cubes. I think it was like corn kernels and ice cubes because it Corn Fest like they had like a husk throwing contest. Like it was the whole thing. But they started throwing stuff at Reed, and Reed told them he was like, if one more beer can flies up here, we're getting on the bus, we're going home. Because Reed's been he was telling us after somebody I guess brought a baseball to a concert once and lobbed it and it like smacked him in the side of the ear. Like pretty damn hard. And lo and behold, a very full beer, which I don't drink anymore, but festival beer is too expensive to do that.
Yeah.
I don't get it. Like you waited for 30 minutes to get that beer, paid $20 for it, and then you're gonna throw it? There's just no logic there. Anyways, but yeah, lo and behold, a very full beer comes launching up 15 minutes into their set. Reed said, "Nope, we're going home. Y'all have a good one,"
Yeah.
and they did.
That sucks. I mean,
I don't
good.
blame them for it.
Oh yeah, I don't blame him at all. Good for them, but man, I hope
I'm glad they followed through with it. Where it's like,
yeah,
no, I will. I'm not lying to you. We will go home.
yeah. I hope the crowd corrected that situation afterwards too.
Oh yeah, yeah. I even had a handful of people message me. They're like, "Hey, will you tell Southall that like I wasn't one of the people that threw it, but like, will you apologize to them for us?" I'm sure you weren't one of the people that threw something up there. If you're
Yeah,
messaging the opener, who
yeah.
was a fill-in for Dylan Wheeler.
Dealing with. Oh, I love that
Eh,
dude.
I've been a huge fan. I've never met him, but I've been a huge fan of his music for a really, really long time.
Oh, man,
I got to work his concert back with when I was working at the station, and I remember he was one of the first acts I ever saw that I was like, he sounds the exact same as he does on record. That's
hmm
amazing. Like,
Yeah.
very, very talented. Sorry to cut you off.
Oh no, no, it's okay, dude. He's so nice, super cool guy, and his whole band is awesome. It's I had a lot of fun with them. They came up here with Co and Treaty Oak, and
Oh, nice.
I got to hang out with them a bunch of times. And I think that's that DC show where the crowd went
Oh,
insane.
yeah.
That's it's man. It was the one. It was the one night where Shiloh, his media guy, who's Gracie
Hmm.
York's
Yeah.
boyfriend, he came out and he goes, "Hey, you want to come backstage? We got to go right now." And the person I was with was getting like a Sprite. I'm like, dude, can't leave him out in the crowd. And next thing you know, we were up close. I was like, man, I really feel like we should get back. Like Dylan crushed it, but man, you could just tell, like he just something in the air, and then it was crazy. And like she wasn't able to walk up the stairs because she, she has a handicap. And I was like,
Oh, shit.
this sucks. I was like, we need to go under the ceiling because it was the three-story venue, and it was like these hard plastic recyclable cups, and they just had no idea that that was their thing. And I just remember
Oh,
like
no.
going into the next show, and they were like, "Oh yeah, you need to pour that in this cup." And I was like, "Oh, I know why. I know what you heard. I was there." And she was like, "My goodness, are you okay?" I'm like, "Yeah." And she was like, "After all that, you're gonna come back?" I was like, "Hey, talent's talent, you know." That was the crowd. The crowd. It wasn't the bands, but yeah, dude,
That
Dylan's fantastic. He can sing. I
oh
love his
yeah.
voice. Yeah,
That's one of my favorite thing about Texas bands. Everybody can like everyone's actually good. Texas and Oklahoma
yeah,
and I guess Colorado too. But like the Texas sound or
yeah,
the Americana or whatever you want to call it. There's they're good. Like it's just it's nice that you know that you when you go and watch them live,
yeah,
it's going to be a good show. Like and it's going to sound like the record. Like it's when I was first starting to go to like smaller concerts and local ones, I'm like this is my speed. This is cool. Like this is not backing tracks. Like this is live as it gets. Like I love it. I love it so much. I love this industry. I guess there's a bunch of things to roll my eyes at and makes me want to put my head through drywall. But like that, it's cool.
yeah. I did. I love it too. The music, the people, because a lot like I have my own music, and people are like, "How come you don't ever really promote yourself?" And I'm like, "Man, like this got big because of not not my stuff. It got big because of like the Texas and the Oklahoma and the red dirt and all that." And I was like, well, I'm not going to turn my back on the people, and I love it. I love it. I wish I could be in a red dirt, Texas country band. That
You should start
ultimate.
doing like just like little cameos where it's like, ta-da! Come out on stage, come shred.
Yeah, it's Tanner once was like, "Hey man, when you coming up? When you come on up on stage?" And I was like, "Dude, you got to tell me, like, because
I
I
don't do well with like the just come up whatever song.
yeah that
No, I won't be doing that. Thank you though.
yeah and that at shows sometimes I have drinks and I am the kind of person that if I have a little bit of a buzz, I can't play. It's just not that kind of person.
And I feel that I don't drink anymore, but when I was first gigging, like I had a freshman year, as everyone does in college, and then I moved home. So any tolerance that I had built up out the window. Uh, and then when I was doing like the 3 hour like bar gigs, man, I haven't seen what you've done to that drink from here, from the bar to here. Like I'm not gonna drink that. Like, why
Yeah,
don't you take that $7 cocktail and just tip me a five and we both win instead of watching that drink sweat? And so it turned me into a lightweight. But if I did drink on stage, and singing is hard enough, man. I don't need any help having to like think about what I'm doing. Like
yeah,
I I've only think I've only played two shows, even a little buzzed, and it's like, okay, this is not fun. I'm having to think very hard about things that should not be this hard.
yeah. That and like one of my buddies said he was signed. He was doing a lot better than us, and we are on his tour bus. And he just our lead singer. He used to drink, and he said, "Hey man," he said, "you go to a gym, you work out, you get a good pump, you get a good workout in. Now imagine you opened up your arms, exposing your muscles, and you pour Jack Daniels on it. Would that make any sense?" He said, "That's what you're doing to your vocal cords in your throat." He said, "You're working them out. Alcohol is dry." And he said,
Mm-hmm.
"You need to put down the drink." He said, "And chew some gum." He said, "Keep that lubricated." And
Mm-hmm.
I was like, "Damn, that's a great way to look at it." And
Absolutely.
yeah, he's the next gig. "Hey man, can you pull over? Got some gum." And
I have a whole like vocal health like hit essentially. 'Cause I cheered for 15 years, and that does a lot of damage to the vocal cords just in general. Um, on top of never shutting up a day in my life ever, and always being very loud. I cannot whisper. So when I was like in the thick of paying my dues and cutting my teeth doing the barbecue joint gigs, I mean, I'd play like 5, 6 times a week, 3 hour gigs. Um, I ended up getting nodules. And so now I have to be like very, very aware and take very good care of my instrument because I'm a vocalist first, songwriter second, guitar player third. Um, honestly, I would probably knock guitar player much lower where it sits. There's just not anything to replace it with. Um, but like I'm constantly studying like what Broadway performers do to keep their voice healthy and things because once it's gone, it's gone.
Yeah.
And also, this is my last year on my mother's insurance, so I won't be
Oh,
able to afford surgery if I need it.
yeah, dude. That when people ask, they're like, how come you never took the leap into music? And that's one of the reasons why. I was like, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll quit my job. I'll go on tour, and my appendix will explode, and
Right.
I I will be in debt forever. I was like, this has already happened to me. Like I went to I went to the hospital 3 times without insurance, and I could be driving a Lamborghini with all the money, and the calls they call, and then like
Hmm.
all your envelopes are red because you're not paying this person
Dude,
and this
and
person.
nothing feels worse than opening the mail and seeing that. You're like,
Yeah,
damn,
yeah. It's like
that's
oh they're green. Okay, I got an extra month. Oh they're
right.
yellow. Another month, and then they're red. You're like, I should probably open this one instead of like
Yeah.
or just like throw them all up into the air and whatever lands in the hat, maybe I'll pay.
Right, right. And that's the heavy emphasis on maybe. Open it.
Yeah, yeah, and people will tell you, well, medical debt is different. And I'm like, well, no. If the one time they put, I'm a junior, and my dad was going to go get a car, and he was like, I should qualify for 0%. And they're like, well, we're sorry here. You owe you owe LabCorp $3,500. And he called me up. He's like, hey, do you owe LabCorp 30? I was like, yeah, I got a blood test and blah, blah. And he's like, well, you need to call up and get a switch so I get 0%. I was like, yeah, I'll do that right after I get a new car, Dad, because apparently I can get 0%. He's like,
That's what
that
I'm
ain't.
hearing. That is
He's,
exactly what I'm hearing.
I was like, that's what you get for your unoriginal name selection.
Yeah, the best you could come up with.
Yeah. What should we name it? Hell, Junior. That's here's
That's
how you
okay.
spell it. Here's my license. That's how you spell it.
Oh,
There's a,
my name came from Steel Magnolias. And I'd asked mom, I was like, why? Like, why'd you like Shelby? And she was like, she was so strong. It's like, Mom, did you finish that movie? Not to give spoilers in case anyone hasn't seen it, but it's not that strong. But it's she was like, no, that's not the point. It's because you just faced a lot of adversity or whatever. I'm like, all right, sure. I like Weezer off that movie. I feel more connected to Weezer's character in that movie.
yeah,
Um,
I don't think I've ever seen it. Is that with
what?
is Dolly Parton in that?
Yeah,
I know of the movie. I don't think I've ever seen it.
it's okay. I'll be honest, it's sad,
Hmm.
but Weezer is honestly my spirit animal. Truth be told, I've very very much twin flames on that one. So I'm glad I didn't just like outright spoil it, but she wasn't that strong. I will say
Uh,
she's strong, but it's a tearjerker for sure. And I don't typically like to watch too many movies that make me cry because I can cry at the drop of a hat. I don't need any help.
you're very,
Um,
very, very reactive.
I
Uh,
appreciate you calling me reactive and not sensitive. That goes a long way. But yes.
Yeah, you can cry when you're happy, when you're sad. You can cry when you don't even know why you're crying because you 2 seconds ago you weren't crying. Now you're crying. I
Exactly. You
I've
get
been
me.
there. I've been there. Like,
That's amazing. I really do appreciate that. That goes a long way with me.
I,
Uh, no, that's awesome. What festival are you going to next? What's the next concert you're going to?
Pecos and the Rooftops.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Where are they at?
Wednesday, the Foundry in Philly.
Mm,
Yeah, it just happened. I was just talking to Ty Smith. That band's in town. It's a pretty solid app if you like following people. It not so much local, well
yeah.
for here, but yeah, it sent me like a notification, and I was like, oh, you know me, thank you, because normally it's the day after, which
Always.
which has happened where I have something to do or something going on. Like I just missed American Aquarium. I just I couldn't make it. I'm just like, man. And I told BJ, like, he's don't worry, we'll be in Philly. But I did see him a little while ago. But yeah, there anytime anybody comes up from here, from the Texas country. Like I really try to go. And granted, it's on a Wednesday, but
Worth it.
yeah, yeah, definitely
Worth
because
it.
I love them. I'd heard some things where people were like, yeah, well, their live show isn't really anything special. And I saw them. I thought they were fantastic. I was like,
I want to know like what people like because I've heard not necessarily with Pecos, but like just about different bands in general. Where it's like, what did you expect the up and coming Road Dog band to have pyrotechnics? Like, what did
yeah,
you want?
yeah,
Like, relax, big dog. They're making $250 from this show. Like,
yeah. I loved how they were dressed up as Talladega Nights. I,
dude, that was sick. In
yeah,
the winter circle, like, fuck. I went to my first metal show actually with Shannon and Dirks and Willie. It was In This Moment, Ice Nine Kills, and I missed the like first two bands just because I had to get to Irving in the middle of 5 o'clock traffic. Um, and the thing that I took note of from metal bands is the actual production of things. Which, granted, Ice Nine Kills is a very like theatrical band, but like there's even the like we caught the tail end of like I guess the second up band. There's still at least LED walls or some sort of video going on the screens in between the cameras. Like there's a pretty high production value even in like the support bands. It's like, damn, we did not do that. Like or like even stage props or just something other than five guys with instruments. And so it was like I've been making notes. I had to buy an in-ear rack, so I can't really get stage props right now. But like it's definitely something that I'm like, I'd like to adopt some things from that. That was really cool. And then plus like the energy of people that go to metal shows, I I'll be honest, I'll say it, I prefer it much more than country
yeah,
fans.
yeah. It's
I might get crucified, but sue me. They're
it's
nice.
yeah.
They have spatial awareness. They have
Oh,
concert etiquette.
oh man, that's the one thing I can't. If you bump into me once, that's cool. I always stand next, and it's always someone. It's always a drunken female that's not clapping in time.
Oh
That
my
is,
gosh.
I can't stand that. And I'm like, how can you love this music so much and not know it's 4/4?
That just bebop. Stop
Yeah,
clapping.
that it's
That
that's a
that and like
dangerous
the
thing for an
drunken
artist.
like like chatter where it's like
I know. Oh,
like that was actually a conversation I had with BJ at the beginning of this year because I've been to his solo show and I've been to his full band show and the way that the culture and like the self-governing energy, I don't know what the proper words are there, but of his crowd, like the culture of his crowd is so enviable. Like
oh,
I love it. It'll go from high energy rock and roll show, they're laughing, they're crying, they're silent, back into this big thing and it's like oh my god. And like at Steamboat it was his solo set, which if I'm going to a BJ bar on solo set, I want to hear his stories, I want to hear what he has to say. He can play 4 songs, that's fine. I listen when he talks because that's I'm a fan of the music.
yeah.
Somebody from the back of the bar goes, come on with it already.
Oh,
Everyone in that room's asshole puckered and BJ just goes, come again. Yeah. Everybody was like, "Hey, shut the fuck up!" Like it was just so swiftly, and then that was it. Like there was no other problem with it. But before that set, I'd actually kind of picked his brain on it. I was like, "Man, how did you do that? Like, is that like?" Because I'd asked a handful of other acts. I was like, "I love this element of his shows. Like it's." Especially as someone that started as background music, I long for the day that people shut the fuck up when I'm singing. Like, sorry to speak so colorfully, but
that's
like,
right.
driving me up a wall. And some people had said they're like, man, I think it's just one of those things either you got or you don't. And I was like, that answer is not good enough for me, actually. So I went and asked BJ, and he goes, "Oh, I told them to. I met my wife by handing her 20 bucks and told her, gave her her money back and said, please shut the fuck up and leave. Here's your money back." I'm like, oh, oh, okay. Well, that's easy. There goes the mystery of it. Like, it's so enviable. I love, like, he's one of the few bands in the scene that have a fan base that listens and has decorum. And I just, I don't know if this is what it means getting old, but I'm not built for a mosh pit. I'm not built for shoulder to shoulder. And also, no, you can't just squeeze past me to stand right in front of me.
Yeah, I 100%.
Puts me up a wall?
Oh yeah,
What's it mean?
I'm surprised I haven't broken my own teeth. I'm just deep down, just the furnace is on fire, and just like and any more, because like especially when you're there for the opener
Hmm.
and you're there and you can twirl and not hit a soul, and next thing you know, like you've been there for hours, and there comes the headliner, and next thing you know, you're like,
Yep.
that's the one thing I liked about Highway 30. Gordy was throwing people in the back, saying, "No, no, no, these guys were here all day. Nope." And he was, you remember, he was like, "Hey, you need to get
I
back."
I really did like his crowd control. Because I think I went. No, man, I think I only went the first day because I had a show. I remember that because Aaron, my boyfriend, was there and he was helping with the media. Uh, but there was numerous times that Gordy had gotten up there and was like, "Y'all need to go drink water. Do not fight." Like
Yeah.
the crowd control was impressive. I was like, I've never seen a festival do that, which unfortunate to hear how it turned out, and I hope his health is faring well. But I'm also like, if I'm not playing at a festival, I'm terrified to be backstage. I have a perpetual fear, even at my own shows, that people are going to be like, "You're not supposed to be back here." I'm like, you know what? You're right. Actually, I'll go. Thank y'all. Um, and said that one was one that I was like, at any point they're gonna find out I'm a fraud and they're gonna kick me out.
No,
But everyone there was so nice.
yeah. Well, you look like a rock star. Like I walk into a place and they're like, no public restrooms, but people would know that you were there for yeah, especially like when you talk about like you definitely like you definitely gave a BJ vibe when I saw you at the Texas show. I was like, man, that could be Shelby, or that could be somebody that's not her that just kicks me in the crotch for, for like, I don't know you. That's the worst pick of mine I've ever heard. I'm like,
Man, I've heard some crazy shit at the merch table, man. So the bar is on the floor. There's a lot that can be said before it's like, all right, motherfucker. Like,
I can I can imagine like that's what when I was talking to Cat Hasty down there, I was like, man, I don't know how you do it with the comments because like they send me stuff and I'm just like, dude, like what? Where do you get the nerve?
hmm
Like, do you not have a
it's
mom? Would you say that to your own mother? It makes no sense. Like
that.
it
It's it's insane. It's one of the things that like, and it's really insane too when they come out of the comment section and they are set at the merch table and it's like, oh,
yeah,
huh? Like I had to change my number. Uh, I had to I have security details at certain shows in certain towns because of it. Like, that's insane.
it
Like,
is.
I knew like at some point in my career that that would be a thing I would have to do. I did not expect it at this level, but at the same time, I don't know why I didn't expect it at this level because it's a very accessible level. Like the most of the green rooms up until this point was just a partition in the corner. Like it wasn't like a thing. Like there's still some support green rooms that don't have a bathroom, and I have a band of dudes. I'm not gonna kick out all of my band so I can change. I'll just go to the main restroom. Uh, but you can't miss me. So it's like it's a thing. So it. anytime I get like the really weird ones, uh, I because obviously Dalton has access to all my social medias. He's like, can I please message him back? I'm like, by all means. I think that would be so much fun. Because there's been a few that it's like, without like airing out anybody, but some people will get really bold, and there's a healthy amount of crossover in the industry. Uh, so where it's not just some stranger hitting on me or sliding in DMs or saying something crazy. It's like somebody's bassist or something like that. I don't know. Um, but Dalton will be like, "Hey man, I get all these messages. I'll
Ah,
let her know though."
oh,
It's
yeah. It,
I've got a good system in place for it nowadays.
that's good. Yeah. It's it is weird when it comes over on my end, and I'm like, so I can't imagine what like the artist. And I had people they saw me with Cat, and they asked me like they had like crazy things. I'm like, no, what? I'm not gonna ask her.
hmm
I'm not gonna say no. What is wrong with you? And I'm just like, dude, like it it, it sucks. It
the
really
Paris,
sucks.
it's social media is such a tool and it is so cool, but the parasocial, I guess, relationships that people establish. Jesus Christ, go touch some grass. This is insane. Like, ugh, gross. Like it, even from Down to Me up to Taylor Swift. Like, I don't know if you remember. I think it was during the. I don't know if you saw it. More to say. Uh, Taylor Swift attended someone's wedding, and it got out that she was in attendance of the wedding. Nearly 1,000 people, I think, is what it came out to be, crashed this wedding and was outside of the venue. It's like, y'all are insane.
Yeah,
That is that's not fair to the artist, and it's also not fair to the wedding party, you fucking weirdos.
yeah,
I'd be
yeah,
so mad.
yeah.
So mad.
Yeah, the gall of some people, and
It truly.
like it doesn't do any good. Like now you're known as they're never gonna like you for it. You know?
That na Now you have just established yourself as a threat and an
Yeah,
enemy and not welcome. Good job. I think that was
yeah,
exactly your goal, wasn't it?
yeah. That's like I've had people like generally ask. They say, "Hey, man, I don't have a big TikTok following, but I really want to talk to an artist. How would you go about it?" And I said, "Well, a lot of times it's like, hey, just really want to tell this artist their song changed my life. I just want to let them know, and that's fine. And I'll tell them. I said the easiest way to talk to an artist, like, granted, this is not stadium shows or whatnot,
Right,
but like a regular artist that's traveling in a bus or like a trailer in a van. A lot of times you're traveling and there's no guitar centers. A lot of there's no Radio Shacks anymore. So if you need a cable
right.
or you need an adapter, that's what I always say. I said, Instagram. I just send them
Mhm.
a message, say, hey, I'm coming to your show. I'm a huge fan. Hey, is there anything you need? And I've had a lot
Yeah.
of people be like, hey man, dude, we need drum heads. You live by a guitar center? You need this? I need a capo. I need it. And then you give it to, hey, do you want any money? No, no, just say, just remember me for.
That's a sick way to do that. Because like thankfully, like none of my platforms are like too big to where I don't see messages. Like, yeah, sometimes like except Messenger, Facebook, like Meta Business, no friend of mine. I don't know what I have done. It genuinely hides like Messenger messages, and I'm like, well, now I just look like an asshole.
Yeah, I know
Um,
exactly what you're talking about.
I don't know what I've done, but like just normal, just be normal,
Yeah,
just be normal. Which I mean, even no different than like I guess it's hard if you're not doing the artist thing, but like I've messaged my favorite artists that way. Like I've messaged Pony Bradshaw and was like, "Hey, this record actually means like everything to me. Thank you." And same with Steven Wilson Jr. That father son record. There's not a single skip on that thing. And the first time I flew to Nashville, I listened to it the whole flight over, or the whole flight home, excuse me. And I was like, man, I just landed back in Dallas, coming back from Nashville. this is an incredible record. Thank you for sharing this with the world. Like, holy shit, this is amazing. And he messaged me back and he was like, that means a lot. Thank you so much.
That's awesome.
Like, I've even had artists, like, not artists, but creators or things like that, even just like liking the message, dub, huge win. Thank you. Have a good one. I'll take it where I can.
Yeah, that's that's the one. I'm like I've like OCD with some things, and I always felt bad like seeing a comment on a TikTok and not having a reply to it. That still bothers me, but it's like hundreds, thousands of comments, and I can't
Yeah.
keep up with it. But
I try
I'll
to at least like them like as they
yeah,
come in, but like Instagram, like I've really fallen off my game. And I used to be the same way. I'd comment back to every person, and now it's like, okay, I saw it, I liked it, love you, thank you. I can't get to them because usually by the time I'm posting them, it's either the day during the day, and I'm having to go do 1,200 other things. Um, by the time I get to like sit down and actually read all of them, it's like 3 weeks later, and now it's weird.
yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, I don't go on Instagram. I don't understand it. Like it's just not intuitive. Like I think I commented on something you commented on. It was Autumn Raglan, like when they were like, do the
Oh
five
yeah,
chord, and I was like, believe me, I don't know what any of that means either. She's like, I'm not. What'd you say? Like I'm not something about not doing math. I said, yeah. The only
yeah,
time I yell out numbers are combos at fast food places. Like you tell me,
facts,
yeah,
truly facts.
you tell me you played a two chord. I'm just like, yeah, just play it, and I'll look at your fingers.
That literally that when Parker Ryan played, when I borrowed the Parker Ryan band as my band last year, uh, we cover "Rock and Roll Should Kill You" by Dalton Domino, and it's one of my favorite songs. Like I could write a 10-page paper about it.
Yeah,
And that's how I learned guitar was by YouTube and watching hands. And so I'm watching Parker's hands as he's playing like the intro lick to it. I'm like, okay, yeah, I think I got that. That MFR plays half a step down, and I know that shouldn't break my brain that hard, but it did. I was like, well, now, fuck. Now I don't know what to do. It
yeah,
shouldn't have been that hard, and I've like kind of figured it out now, a year later. But I'm very much a visual learner of okay, play what you're playing again. And apparently I make weird chord shapes because I taught myself how to play. Like I, now when I'm practicing guitar, it's practicing unlearning bad habits
yeah,
that I used when I first got started.
yeah.
But yeah, no,
Same.
music theory, I failed 3 times. I got my degree in music business, failed it. It took the third time with a different professor and me sitting down with her, which I follow her on TikTok. Thank you, Dr. Hatch. I love you. It took me sitting down with her being like, "Hey, will you teach this to me as if I'm like in elementary school? Like you've
Yeah,
got to break this down because the way my brain like rigs things, I land in the same place, but it's not technically correct." And like my classmate who's been playing the oboe since junior high, he this is very easy for him, but like when we have to do like group projects and things, they're like, I'm sure it's like talking to an illiterate individual. Like, what is wrong with you? Like, I know, we'll get there.
yeah. Dude,
Very redneck.
I'm the same way. I recently found out with the major scale, no matter what note you start on, use all the notes.
Yeah, I
I
I feel
was
that
like, oh my God. This whole time that release is like half the computing power. I'm like, oh my God.
straight up.
I was like, dude, I felt so dumb. Like I know like whole, half whole, I know all that. But I'm like, yeah, it's all of them. It's all, and I was, I'm like, thank
Dude,
God.
I cried doing performance exams of scales specifically. I feel you. I I 1000% feel you. I'm trying to get quicker at them on guitar. And I told Dalton the other day, I was like, if I ever get a guitar solo, it's just going to be scales. It's
Yeah.
just going to be the scale. And it's going to be a big day for me. And I'm going to be the only one that finds it funny. And hopefully a single musician in the crowd will be like, did you just play a major scale for the solo? It'll be
Dude,
a good bit.
there's a lot of big names that do it. Like, what is it? Country Girl. The Country Girl Shake It For Me. That dun, 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 that's the E major
That
scale. Like straight up.
we make things way too hard.
That, dun, 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 dun. You're just that whole run up
Straight
top.
up.
Yeah,
I
three
gotta stop
five.
being so creative.
Yeah,
I ain't
well,
gotta do so much.
Stairway to Heaven. There's A minor pentatonic.
Have you ever seen the TV show Ted Lasso?
Oh no, I only saw the darts highlight. That's it.
There. There is a character on there. His name's Coach Beard. He's a hippie and fun and very stoic, but big feelings. And he has to sit in and do the press conference one day. And mind you, it's these two guys from Kansas that go over to London. Um, and he's doing the press conference, and then it just like cuts to the conference room being this like big commotion and all these things. And he was like, "You know that Stairway Heaven is just a glorified fingering exercise," and talking about like Jimmy Page, and it's this whole like really fun guitar debacle and debate, and it's like this is entertaining as a musician as well. And I every single time anytime anyone talks about Stairway to Heaven, I'm like, it's a glorified finger exercise. It's
Yeah,
so fucking funny to me. I don't know why I eat it up every time.
it's like Richie Blackmore when he's talking about Smoke on the Water. It's what Beethoven backwards.
I've
Or,
heard that.
yeah, and he's just like, oh, you know, it's just and like,
I've got to start coming up with new things. So everything's already been done.
yeah, dude. Paul Gilbert, who's a virtuoso guitar player, he did like a seminar, like a TED talk, where he talked about how he writes songs using the rhythm of other songs. It was one of the coolest things I've ever seen an artist do, of how he can take a rhythm that he loves and he changes it and makes it his own, and he does it like on the fly.
That's so sick. Is
Yeah,
that the guy that has like the stand-up bass and like he like can tap certain? Have you seen that TED talk?
no,
I
no,
don't know who it was, but I saw this thing where it's kind of like that Imogene vocoder glove that she has. Very similar kind of technology, I think. But it was one that I bookmarked on TikTok to come back and watch. But
huh?
uh, there's a book, I can't think of who wrote it, but it's one of my favorite books. It's called How to Steal Like an Artist. And like
That's a
just
cool
the
name.
way that like whether subconsciously or consciously you pull from things like that. And it's like if it's also a good exercise to do things like it just relieves the pressure of like creating something outstanding where it's like, yeah, just do the major scale on top of
Yeah,
the bed of chords, or
yeah,
play that backwards. That's so, oh god, it's so cool. I love music so much.
yeah. And it's like if you're stuck in a rut, take out the circle of fists, play
Right.
them chords, and people are like, "What? What's this?" I'm like, when you share that to somebody that is a songwriter that doesn't know any theory, and they're like, with like, that's what I was going to play anyway. I'm like, well, there kind of is it. It is a science, and you know, it's weird how our brains are just wired to like certain stuff. Like reading an article, like you'll naturally just do it without even knowing you're doing it.
There's a book, it's called How Music Works by David Burns, I think is how you pronounce the last name. But like, and it's one that I'm only just started, so I don't know too much of it. But there's a reason that we like songs a certain BPM, because it's a similar heart rate. And it's just like,
Um,
duh, like
yeah,
that makes sense. Like why would like okay, interesting. I think that kind of stuff is so cool and so neat. Like, oh, I would have never thought about that. Like,
yeah,
duh, it makes sense. But
yeah.
every time I sit down to write, when I am in a rut, I either hide the capo from myself because I love to put it on the third fret and start with an E minor. It's my personal favorite to start with. um, that or I will put it in Dadgad because I'm not very good at doing anything in Dadgad. And I'm like, all right, figure it out. It I haven't finished the song with it, but it has opened up some really cool spots and like ideas and things.
Yeah. You ever like tune to like open tunings? Doing anything
One
like that?
time just a single time, and I got so pissed off. I think I didn't touch that guitar the rest of the week. I could not figure out what to do. 'Cause I just kept trying to make chord shapes and was like, all right,
Yeah,
this isn't fun anymore.
yeah, it does melt your mind. I like leaving an acoustic like one I don't like play. I leave it in like open D or open G, and I don't know what it is when people aren't musicians, they like to brush up and they go,
Yes,
"Oh, this
my
sounds so
my
pretty."
my boyfriend does that every time, but he won't do like the full like like he'll do. Oh, what is that called? It's up by the tuning pegs, the little bitty. Is it the nut?
Yeah,
Yeah, he'll do those strings up there, and
the
it
real
makes
high
the.
pitch.
Oh, I hate that sound, and he thinks it's so funny. I think he's got perfect pitch. I don't think he realizes he's got perfect pitch because every now and then, like if he'll like walk by and he'll like strum maybe two strings, he'll be like, "Oh, that's such and such song." Like, or if I'm playing on the piano, he'll just walk over and he'll just like hit the right one that it's playing and whatever. I'm like, "Honey, man, how do you know how to do that?" He's like, "I don't know." Like, it's insane. Charlie Puth knockoff.
So does he play anything or?
Mm-mm. He can build a guitar. He can fix a guitar. Uh, he's jack of I call him jack of all trades, master of most. Like he's kind of every now and then he'll like pick around on a guitar, trying to like figure out and get some chords down. But yeah, he just likes building them.
Hmm.
I've got a Trini Lopez 335 kit guitar that he built. That's also like a very similar shade of red, and then a little Strat that he built. Damn, almost like 2 years ago now.
Yeah, I don't think I'd ever never an acoustic. Maybe like a simple bolt on, but
He wants to. He wants to eventually. He just graduated airplane mechanic school, which was he took it during the night classes. And so now he's like, got all this time. Like I can build that guitar now. And I'm like, you have at it, big dog. That's out of my wheelhouse. I like to just paint and occasionally embroider shit on a jacket.
yeah. Yeah, I like getting things completed. Just hand it to me. I'm not a
I, that I don't tinker very well. If I tinker, I'm gonna tear it up.
yeah yeah. I'm the world's worst solderer. I'm steady. You get close to it, and it's like oh earthquake, and solder
That's
goes everywhere.
and straight up, and I have hand tremors too. So like same but different. Like with fake eyelashes and things, like girls will be like, "Oh my God, you've got to put my like we haven't my eyelashes on." I'm like, "Do you want to keep your eye? Because
Oops.
I can poke it out, but I can't put the eyelash on." But that's he built. Oh, what do you call it? It was a I think it was a fuzz pedal or a compressor or something like that. But he started building pedals there for a little bit. And the guy that plays drums on all my record or all the songs on the record, his name's PH Nafa. Plays in Roger Fine and the Peacemakers, but he also owns FAMs, like PH amps and pedals. And so the two of them, like, I'm pretty sure my boyfriend and PH Nafa are just the same, but like different generation. I don't know. Like like apparently like POTS it actually stands for it's an acronym. It's not just a word people chose for these things. Like and I, the two of them together talking about like the creation and them tinkering and soldering all that kind of stuff. I'm like, hell yeah! I like the fun names they come up with for them. Dan Electro pedals are my favorite because I think they look ridiculous and they're only $20 and I want to collect them all.
That's
Like
funny.
corned beef reverb was the first one that I got.
That's right.
Like, what is that? That is ridiculous. Give it to me now. I need 12 of them.
Yeah, I like the buttons too, like in the
Yeah,
arcade style.
it's so much fun to me. It's like the shitty IPAs that your least favorite person drinks. I like the can. I don't like the drink. It tastes like nail polish remover, but the can is so cute.
Yeah, that's funny. Like I went to the beer store and I was just staring, and the guy came up and goes, "Hey, do you need a hand? Are you looking for anything particular? And I was like, no, I'm just looking at the pictures. He's like,
Honestly,
he's like, okay, simple Jack.
I get it though, because like the designs are really cool. I like it, and also, what somebody put a lot of work into this. Someone needs
Yeah,
to appreciate it.
like the one beer brand. It's Ralph Steadman, who was the illustrator for Hunter S. Thompson, which I love his art. So
Oh, that's so cool. I did not know that.
yeah, I
I love
just
that.
looking at the picture, sir.
I love it. I can only be on here about 10 more minutes, so if that's okay.
Okay, is there anything we didn't talk about, or you want to talk about?
Nothing too much. I love to talk, so
Yeah.
that I'm chilling. We've got did we I don't know that we have. We've got the pre-order for the record going on right now. I need to send you the little teaser link that we've got. Um, so I can either send it to Steve, or link from some platform. Who knows?
Okay.
But we've got some songs. And they're pretty rock. Um, I think you'll really like them. They're they're the one that we wrote though that I literally like, Aaron was actually the first one to say it, and then I was like, damn, yeah, he is gonna love this song. Um, in the studio, it's a tune called "Getting Mine" that we were like, Patrick is going to love this song. This is for him. It's not on there yet. We're still getting that one mixed because I had to like completely lyrically rewrite it. It's good. But the tunes that are on there right now, I think you'll appreciate.
Yeah.
They're not so Americana. They're more rock heavy, so they'll feel like home, hopefully.
Yeah. Yeah. Like all the songs you've put out lately have been awesome.
Thanks.
Yeah, they have like really cool soundscapes. I just love how like how different they are, and because nobody's doing what you're doing, and I love that.
Mm-mm.
There's a lot of like, I mean, very diverse. If you like certain sounds, or if you like like certain eras, and it's cool to hear it all.
It's
Just
it's interesting. I never know what to say when people ask me like, "So what kind of music do you make?"
yeah,
I don't know.
it
Music.
yeah, music. I loved your one answer on the Raise Rowdy podcast of that same question when depending on who you talk to, like saying
Mhm,
you play country is way different. Like if they didn't know what Texas country, like that's like when I was talking to Kobe Acuff, like
mhm.
he, you don't want to say country because these people might think of the stuff on the radio like, oh, you're like a pop rap kind
Exactly.
of, you know, and
Yeah.
it does get frustrating because like I'll jump in people's car and they'd be like, oh, they'll put on country. I'm like, not this. This is the stuff that drove me away. Like,
Right, exactly. And rightfully so. Like there's a lot of really bad country music out there. Like
yeah,
it's hard because it's a fine line because you've got dance halls that like some of these Texas country bands that clearly make rock music, like you're not gonna play there. And so it's hard to navigate and to market appropriately, but you also gotta but a lot of these Texas venues are the only places that you can get in. So it's depending on the day, man. If I wear the cowboy hat or not and trade the synth for more or trade the synth for a steel guitar. I don't have the budget for one right now, but uh
you will
it's
soon.
really interesting. God, I hope so. This has to work out.
It's I think you're gonna be good. Like you say, the font's getting bigger. You're gonna drop 16 songs that everybody's gonna love, and yeah, we're gonna
I hope so, man. It's like
see.
your firstborn. Like, listen, be proud of it. Okay, it's my first one.
Yeah,
But the songs that we've got right now and the more mixes that we get back and the more things that we work on behind the scenes with it, it's like I'm so proud of this thing. And the fact that it's not only independently released, but it's crowdfunded. Like it's the people that have been here since day one or the people that have helped paid for it. Granted, they're also like getting shit. It's the whole thing, but like
hmm
I got a lot of pride, and so that was a really hard thing for me to like become comfortable with. And if anything, it's like deepened the fan to artist connection. Like these are my friends. Like there's a lot of these people that I run into like out and about in town, and it's like we're homies. What are you talking about? Don't be weird. We're friends.
Yeah.
So it's really cool. I'm really really excited about this record. Um, and I cannot like we get to go to Pendleton, Oregon this week to play shows for it, and it's just so cool. I'm so excited.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm excited to hear it as well. And I'm sure there's a ton of people that can't wait.
I hope so.
Yeah, I'll definitely. Definitely. But yeah,
But hell yeah.
but thank you for jumping on. I
But thank you
appreciate
for
talking.
having me. This
Yeah.
is so sick. Hopefully I'll see you in Key West.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Or if anything, any other festival, something. I want to get up to Northeast. I've never even been further than Tennessee. So I'd love to get up there. Maybe
Yeah.
not during the winter though.
Yeah, if you don't like the winter, it's not a good time.
I'm a delicate flower. Well, perfect. I know that I have to stay on this thing for a little bit though, right?
No, no, you're 90%, 99%. So
We
it
got
won't
new
be.
Wi-Fi's.
Yeah,
So it's good
yeah,
to know.
you're good. But yeah, well, thanks for jumping on, and have a good rest of your night.
Absolutely. You too.
Thanks, Shelby. I'll talk to you.
Thank you.